going to call the regular school committee meeting on September 8th to order at 7:04 p.m. And at this time, I just wanted to note that we have two members joining us remote, so all votes will be done via roll call. That's both Member Manning and Member Cornell. And the first item on the agenda is approval of the regular school committee agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the regular school committee agenda?
I'll second.
Motion made by Member Campbell, seconded by Member Miranda. All those in favor via roll call vote. Member Miranda?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Hoffman?
Yes.
Member Cornell?
Yes.
Member Manning?
Yes.
Member Cruz? Yes. That is 6 members voting in the affirmative, so the motion carries. This time we're going to move to the consent agenda, and I just wanted to note that the Salem School Committee would like to hear from members of the public on issues that affect the school district and that are within the scope of the committee's responsibilities. Spanish interpretation is available for anyone who needs it. The members of the school committee would like to remind the public that the Salem Public School students regularly attend school committee meetings, and we encourage all meeting participants to model respectful and productive public discourse for our young learners. Spanish interpretation, again, is provided, so you can either follow the instructions listed on the publicly facing agenda, or you can reach out on the email provided to receive interpretation. But at this time, I'd like to open it up for public comment here in person in the school committee chamber. Seeing none, I'm going to move us online. Do we have any public comment online? Okay, great. So we'll move to the next item on the agenda, which is the approval of the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
Move to approve. I don't see anything on it, though.
Oh, there's nothing on the, oh, that's right. So I think we can just skip over that item, and we can, at our back to school committee meeting, turn to our new student representative for your first report. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Before I submit the report to everyone, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Cindy Sula, and I am a senior at Salem High School, and I've been living at Salem for the last 4 years, where I was also introduced to the Salem schools in my freshman year. I moved here from Albania, and I am certified through the Seal of Biliteracy in 2 languages, Albanian and Spanish, 3 if you also include English. I'm currently enrolled in multiple AP courses such as AP Biology, AP Language and Composition, and outside of the school day, I participate in MUN, mentoring, tutoring, student advisory, Skills USA, National Honor Society, and Technical Honor Society. Something else that is not really related to academics is that I love to cook, and I've also volunteered at a kitchen in an elderly daycare center. And I love to read, write, and do research. And after high school, I plan to go to college at NYU as a pre-medicine major. And kicking off the school year, there is a lot going on in the agenda. We just had our freshman orientation, which was very successful, and according to multiple freshman reports, many found it very helpful getting to classes, getting to know their teachers, and have even seen a gradual improving in their initial grades. I also wanted to speak on the new dates for PSATs and the seats that are actually almost full this year compared to the years before that, including the senior SAT seats, which are in October 21st. I also wanted to mention the AP results going up, which is a report that came out in the end of July, where 168 out of the 253 testers actually scored more than a 3, which makes that 66.4% of students. And this was since the year 2007. I also would like to mention the new cafeteria options, which are way more inclusive than they used to be in the years before that, where now we have gluten-free options, allergen-friendly options, and now students can also get dinner at school and also multiple lunches in case they need one. Other than that, there isn't really much going on yet. We are preparing for Spirit Week, and fall sports have just kicked off. Grades are just starting to come out, and students are pretty pumped to be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that wonderful first report. You did, I think, an excellent job. I would just note that myself and Member Campbell are the committee's liaisons for Student Voice, so we help support the Student Advisory Council and yourself as student representative. So we'll make sure that you get our contact information in the event that you have any questions as you onboard. But we're really excited about your leadership. You've already given us a comprehensive update. So I'm going to open it up to committee members for any questions that they'd like to make of the student representative report, if we have any. I'm going to check with both Member Manning and Member Cornell. Any questions for our student representative?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay,
I'm also good.
excellent. Welcome. Thank you. So with that, I'll turn it over to the superintendent for the next item on the agenda, the superintendent's report.
All right, good evening, everybody. I think that report is way better than any report I've ever given. So,
really?
yeah. Now you're making me look bad, Sydney. No, but I'm excited to work with you, and we have our first meeting with the advisory group next Monday at Salem High School, and we have a really good group of students who are coming back from last year. And I know Ms. McDonald's in the audience, and she worked very closely with some of the student leaders over the summer on some change projects for the high school, and we're going to continue that work throughout the year. So we'll be in touch, and hopefully we can get that meeting organized with the school committee that we've been trying to organize with the student group. Just it's been hard logistically with schedules, but we'll work on that, Sydney, right? If you can pull that off, that will be like the signature of your tenure here. So. With just a couple things on my report, I just want to thank everybody for a smooth start to the school year. Well, almost smooth. We have some transportation things we got to work on, but I really want to applaud our staff. I think our schools did a great job of getting ready to welcome students this year. Our facilities team did an awesome job getting the buildings prepared, and our teachers, as they always do, our kids were greeted by smiling faces, excited, enthusiastic. And I really want to call out the Collins team, who really was gracious in opening their doors to a whole new group of students from Saltonstall. That's never easy, but even talking to Mr. Softic today, he said it was smoother than the last 2 years, which says a lot because we've added 150 or so new students here. So, but that's a credit to the whole team at Collins, who really worked hard to be flexible with the growth in this building. We're still trying to work on the growing pains of all the cars coming here, and I don't know what this building did when there was over 1,000 students here. Different time, maybe more walkers, less cars. I don't know, but again, very grateful for everybody for the start of the school year. Just a couple notes. I do want to just call out our facilities team, who did a great job with the city around the opening of the Bates Playground. The playground is beautiful. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, it is one that I think every child wishes they had the opportunity to play on. I do just want to note that we on attendance and enrollment. So far, we are about 80 students above where we were at this time last year, 80 to 90, which is a good thing. I hope that trend continues. We're still waiting to see how things shake out with students arriving in school, but by now we've been able to determine which students are not coming back, and so that hopefully that holds. That will be an increase over the previous year, and we are still enrolling students each day. Students are coming to us, so that's a good sign. Transportation is always tricky for us, and it's been tricky this year. I think that there's more traffic. There's changes in start and end times. We've definitely have some growing pains in the afternoon that we're still working on. And so I just ask for everybody's patience. I think we're going to need probably another week or so for things to iron out. In the afternoon in particular, as schools, the second tiers get backed up with the first tiers schools. And Deputy Superintendent Carboni and I had a chance to ride the buses on Friday afternoon.
I lit up my week.
And that was a highlight. Yes, we ended our week on the buses. And I will tell you, I'm just blown away by, everybody should do that at some point just to see, because you traverse the city multiple times. And I will say that there is just a lot of congestion out there, particularly on Fridays. And it's I have a lot of respect for bus drivers and bus monitors and everybody who does that work. But it was good for us to see. There's definitely some tweaks we need to make in terms of route sheets and making sure our monitors have all the information that they have. We're fortunate that we have monitors on school buses, but I think they need more guidance, and we're working with NRT on all of those things. So I appreciate everybody's patience. Elizabeth, I know you wanted to say something about. I also learned, and Elizabeth will talk about this, that parents really rely on the GPS, on the GPS as I system, the stop finder, and as I was seeing parents at the bus stop, you could see everybody's glued to their phone, and they were quick to tell me it wasn't working on Friday, or there were problems with it. And so Elizabeth was just going to give a brief update about that.
Yes, thank you. And thank you to the parents and families and educators who've been so patient as the routes shake out and settle into what we hope will be a very safe and efficient and timely school year through transportation. We do have an app called Trip Finder that families are using to track where their student's bus is. And it has been a source, as the superintendent mentioned, of great frustration in the last week, because the bus actually disappears from the app when the bus is running late. And to us in the transportation office, that is exactly when parents want to see where the bus is. Yes. And so we were able to connect with TransFinder, which is the company that provides our routing software and the app, and adjust the settings during the day today. So the afternoon, in today's afternoon commute, parents could see the bus for up to 40 minutes beyond its expected arrival time. And so we think that should help parents at least keep an eye on their bus, their child's bus, for longer. So there was a problem with the settings that has since been adjusted. And so we hope this will be a good tool instead of a source of frustration for families.
I would also just point out another challenge that we're having is Collins at dismissal. It's really, really congested here, where there's all kinds of people coming for sports. There's the, staff leaving, which, at the end of the day, there's parents coming, there's buses, more kids, more families. So I want to just thank Salem Police, because they were here with me today watching dismissal, and we're going to try to make some adjustments based on input that we have. Salem is Salem, so the traffic is the traffic, but we're going to try to make as many tweaks as we can, and they're going to assess over the next couple days and give us their feedback about what are some shifts we can make to assist with Collins. I mean, it's part of all, it's just part of the growing pains of bringing more kids onto this campus, which in the end was I think is the right thing to do, but these are some of the things you can never really totally plan for until you see it in action. So please bear with us as we make those adjustments. But overall, I'm really impressed with the way schools have started, and I think we're off to a really positive start in the Salem Public Schools. So thank you to all our staff and our educators for, a great launch to this school year. I just give a quick update on the school building project. Since our last meeting, the MSBA board did vote to approve the Salem High School's project's preferred schematic report, which is a really important milestone. It doesn't sound that important, but it is. The MSBA, that's their support of the direction we're going with the new facility of a 9 to 12 building, new construction, and that we got support to move forward. The next part is to now submit the design, the final design. So between now and in December, we will be looking at the final design, and we're going to be engaging with Salem High School staff again to look at now more of the details in the spaces. You'll see those meetings upcoming in the next few weeks and months, and ultimately we'll be submitting in December to the MSBA sort of the final design of the project. I will note that the MSBA did indicate that they would be shifting some of the reimbursement for building projects, which is good news for Salem. It means that the reimbursement rates will hopefully increase after January 1st of this year, shifting in to respond to increased construction costs and so forth, which for the project and for the potential debt exclusion is something very will be beneficial to Salem. We'll also be in the next week, I hope, have the designs of the project up in every elementary school and middle school and high school, a board with the design so people can see it, kids can see it, families and staff can see it at open houses, so that folks can begin to see what this building will likely look like if everything goes as planned. I will also note at the same meeting, we also got approval for the Bates School roof project, which is needed, as those of you who have been to Bates know that there's leaks, particularly in the gym, so it's desperately needed, and that project was approved with approximately $2.5 million in reimbursement from the MSBA, and that project, I believe, will be next summer. Elizabeth, is that right? The Bates roof project. That will be work that's done, next summer. So, and then finally, we were visited by the Lieutenant Governor, old friend, former Mayor Kim Driscoll, who came to learn a little bit about the Cartwheel mental health program that we offer. With the Commissioner of DPH was here as well. I want to thank Alan Wingard for facilitating, and also Liz Yoder, and we had our students and we had parents talk about their experience with telemental health and the number of students that we've been able to serve over the last few years. So those are my updates, and then we have 2 items to discuss tonight, which I'm going to turn over to our Deputy Superintendent Carboni. We're going to share some information about our summer programming, and then give you a little update on our favorite topic, artificial intelligence, which we shared some information with staff, and we want to give you on the committee a preview of some of the work that we hope to undertake as a district this school year. So I'll turn it over to Deputy Superintendent.
Before we dive in, I just wanted to take a moment to pause because I think you give a good amount of updates.
Sure.
And just to check in with members of
Thank
the
you.
committee, if they had any questions or comments regarding the first half of the superintendent's updates. And Cindy, for our student representative, you're like any other member on the committee except for that you don't get to vote. So if you just raise your hand and you want to be acknowledged with a question or a comment, just I'll track you down. Okay. Member Miranda and then Member Hoffman.
I just had a comment, and then hopefully we can get a little bit of follow-up, but a couple of parents have stated that there's no crossing guard at a couple of the crosswalks that are pretty busy crosswalks, such as North Street. So just wanted to kind of like highlight that for you. I know that we have the Salem Police Department taking care of that, but I assume that they're in communication with you. So some parents might be a bit concerned.
Yeah, and if there are specific places that of concern, if you could email me those. I know there's been concerns that out in front of Saltonstall and behind Saltonstall there hadn't been consistent crossing guards. That has now been adjusted. And I know Salem Police is trying to hire more crossing guards for additional areas. They don't have enough funds for, I think, everywhere, but there are still some unfilled locations. And if there are particular areas, please have families email me, or school committee members can as well, so we can look into that. I'm also happy to provide you all with a list of where we have crossing guards scheduled to be, if that would be helpful.
Sure. The 2 that I heard,
Okay.
it was North Street and then outside of Collins.
On Jackson Street? Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
there should be somebody there, but sometimes that person isn't consistently there. But I'll send you a list, and those of you who know the streets better than I do can also comment on what you think about the locations or lack of locations.
Thank you. Member Miranda, anything further?
No, that's all. Thank you.
Member Hoffman?
2 things to kind of piggyback off of that. I was wondering if down at Jackson Street, if we could talk to the police department about remember the flashing light I had put by the bus stop at Salts on Lafayette Street?
Yep.
I know that they had told me before that they can easily get those in place. I'm wondering if that could be something to kind of remind people that there are children crossing when there isn't. School has more walkers, I feel like.
On Jackson, you're saying on Jackson Street?
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
And then my other question is, I think it's a great idea to put all the pictures of the new high school in all the schools, but could we also consider the community center so that the general public can also see? Because I think we need to get the word out to families that don't have and haven't had kids in the public schools for a long time to see what the needs are and what it's going to look like, and the more information we give to people, I think the better. So, because I also hear people saying that we don't need a high school or just fix up what we have, and I think we need to get that messaging out
Yep.
in a good way for people to understand.
Yep. Yeah, thank you, and we're printing up a bunch of boards, so hopefully we can, any suggestions you have for other locations, that makes sense as well. Yeah, thank you for those suggestions.
Anything further? Member Hoffman? Thank you. I'm going to turn to the folks online. Member Cornell and Member Manning, any questions about the first half of the superintendent's update or comments?
No, thank you.
No, I don't have anything.
Thank you.
Can I just add one more thing that
Please.
I've neglected? We did receive good news today that Laura Assad has been appointed by the Department of Education to the Racial Imbalance Advisory Council for the state of Massachusetts, which is great news. And they look at trends statewide around racial imbalance. They analyze information across districts around inequities, and they make recommendations to the legislature and as well to the DESE board relating to imbalances that they see statewide. So I want to congratulate Laura on that appointment, which was shared with me today. So I know she's not here this evening, but that's a good representation and a voice for Salem on an important statewide committee. So
Thank you for that update, Superintendent. RIAC has done some really important work over the last couple of years, so congratulations to Mrs.
you know the acronym, Mr. Cruz.
I know them well. Government soup. I learned it in 7th grade. With that, I think we're turning to the Deputy Superintendent.
Okay. Well, I definitely concur with the superintendent. I think we've had a tremendous opening. A couple glitches with the buses, but overall just things have gotten off to a really good start. But I did not want to miss the opportunity for us to give you sort of a retrospective on what our kids did over the summer. We do offer a robust set of fun and learner-centered summer programs, and we just, the things have settled down from the summer and the numbers are in, so we wanted to share with you some information about enrollment and also content. And so I want to welcome Taylor McDonald, who is our Director of Extended Academics and Enrichment, and she really is the architect of the summer programs, works really closely with leadership and our educators who work in the summer to shape those programs, also with our community partners as well. And I just want to, say thank you to Taylor. When most people are off in the summer, she's really on. So she's very hands-on and on-site in the programs, supervising, supporting kids, supporting the partners, making sure that everything's running efficiently and making sure that she's monitoring quality. So she really is working hard in the summer. And I also want to just tip my hat to her as well, because a lot of what you're going to hear tonight, she is actually writing grants to support that. So there are some monies in the operating budget, but the majority of it does come from pretty intensive grant writing throughout the year. So thank you for that, Taylor. And I'm going to turn the mic over to you.
Thank you. That was very nice. Thank you. And thank you for inviting me to talk about summer in September as the weather gets cooler. So this summer we had a lot going on in our schools. We had various students from pre-K all the way to 12 and partners. We collaborated with a lot of partners as well. So we will just review some of the numbers from the high level, and then I'll take you through all of the programs with some quick highlights from each of the programs. So to start, in total, we had 11 summer programs, and we served just over 600 students this summer. We provided 1,125 summer program hours, and we couldn't have done that without our facilities team. So our food service department provided breakfast and lunch to all of our students in our programs. The transportation department was it was great in the summer. We had a great transportation experience this summer. We served 400 students, we transported them to and from program, and that doesn't include our program field trips, which there was plenty. The facilities department worked hard to make sure that the 3 buildings that we were operating out of were cool. We didn't have any big AC issues. They were safe, they were clean, and very welcoming for our students and staff. And then lastly, we couldn't have run the large-scale summer programs without our community partners, and we collaborate with various community partners, local, and then also we took some trips into Boston as well. Yeah, so a quick overview. So to start, I'll start with our Summer Academy. And so our Summer Academy is our largest scale elementary program. We partner with the Salem YMCA. And so in the morning, students are engaged in project-based learning with the support of Salem Public School teachers. And so we serve rising first graders all the way to rising fifth graders. At each grade span, the students are working on standards that they're going to see in the upcoming year. So it's almost like a preview of where they're going. Our first and second graders, we're doing a playful learning bicycle unit. So they learned all about the bicycle safety and paths around the city, brought in the police department and some other local businesses, and the students then developed like a bike safe city using recyclables. Our third graders worked with Salem Sound Coast Watch to learn all about pollution and how to protect our Salem Sound. And then our fourth graders were working with various community partners, doing more investigative work, thinking about what are the resources in our community, and then also what are the barriers that we can kind of address to help our families reach those resources. And then our fifth graders learned all about composting and are being thought partners in our elementary schools as we kick off composting this year in our elementary schools. We served the average service of students was 184 in that program. And it was a full day program. In the afternoon, they went over to the well, they were in the same building, but the YMCA took over, and it was bringing in that camp-like feel. So they did fun, engaging camp activities. Also at the elementary level, we have our ELSA program. So our ELSA program services our multilingual learners. That program is a little bit smaller. We served about 35 students, and the theme this year was plants and animals. So students are working on developing their English language, as they get to investigate the wonderful world of plants and animals. And in the afternoon, we partner with Campfire. So students go over to Campfire, and they get to partake in the pool, fun STEM activities, and other camp-like offerings that Campfire provides. This summer, they went down to the zoo. They had curious creatures come in, so they really got to interact with a lot of different plants and animals. And then they had a wonderful showcase at the end of program, showcasing all that they've learned. So our middle school program, we partner with Leap for Education, and Leap for Education has been our partner for Expanding Horizons for many years now. We served 84 students at the middle school program, and so it's similar to the Summer Academy, where we focus on project-based learning, serving rising sixth graders to rising eighth graders. And there was various project-based learning opportunities that the students partook in. One highlight was the partnership with the PEM, and it was the Woven Dreams PBL, where students were investigating and learning all about the various immigrant stories, a big emphasis on writing in this program, and then they were also highlighted at the PEM, so their work got to be on display at the PEM, which was pretty cool. This year, we piloted a second middle school program, a work-based learning program in partnership with the YMCA. This was a 2-week program, and it was designed to preview or begin to develop some of the rising eighth graders' workforce development, job readiness skills. So there was 2 various tracks: the childcare track, where they're learning all about the different careers in childcare, and then they got to apply their skills with the youth that are at the YMCA. And then there was also a fitness and exercise track, which was very similar. We were also able to use our career-connected literacy, Beable, to do the Summer Splash contest that all the middle schoolers were welcome to join. And that program was a pilot. It was 2 weeks. It went off great. So pending funding, hopefully we can find something similar that we can offer next year. So moving up to our high school level, one program, or this is actually two programs that I think are very connected to our strategic plan. So we have a 21C internship program, and so we target students who are high school students who are interested in pursuing careers in education, and we recruit them to work within our summer programs. So we had 14 high school students working alongside our summer academy and our Expanding Horizon programs, and each week the interns also are expected to participate in the job readiness workshop, where they're building their own skills and competencies, so then they can in turn work better with our students. This program is also going to continue this school year, which is exciting, and most of those student interns want to continue working this school year. So it's very great to see that they want to continue with education. And then lastly, we piloted this year, which Dr. Zreich alluded to earlier, our YPAR internship, where our 3 high school interns were working closely with our Summer Connects program, which will be highlighted next, to learn a little bit more about our incoming freshmen and how they can help support the school in making sure that the freshmen feel supported so that they can find success in their high school careers. So Summer Connects is our rising 9th grade program, and it's for students entering the high school, and it really helps build their foundation so that when they're in high school, they understand the schedule, what the expectations are, how to best navigate the school, while also building a sense of connection and community with their staff, a few of the freshman teachers, and then also other freshmen that are going to be with them in the upcoming year. And this program, they got out and they got to do some fun things while also building their, working on some academic skills as well at the high school. Every year, our special education department runs a wonderful extended year program, pre-K through 12. This year, they got really fun. They had a mascot in that top left corner. You'll see it was a sloth, Sammy the Sloth. So Sammy was always giving updates and announcements to parents and families with daily challenges. We had visits from Derby and the fire department, the Salem Public Library, and it was highly attended. So we have about 102 students who attend that program, which is based off of their individual education plans. And then lastly, we did have our Not Yet Academy, which is credit recovery for our high school students. So that's for our 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. And this year we served just about 90 students in Not Yet Academy with very strong attendance. So, and that's it. That was a lot, but that's what we did this summer. If you have any questions, I can answer them. And if not, thank you again for taking time to listen to what we did.
Well, thank you, Ms. McDonald. It's always good to see you, and this is a comprehensive update, and certainly want to echo the sentiments of the superintendent. It takes a lot of work to coordinate with so many partners to be able to serve our students. So I want to turn to members of the committee for any questions or comments about the summer program update. Seeing none in person, none from Cindy either. Checking with members online, Member Cornell or Member Manning, any questions for Ms. McDonald?
I have no questions, just thank you. It's wonderful as always.
No, I have no questions.
I do have one question, just regarding the summer internship program, which I think is just fantastic that we have 17 students who are really committed to exploring opportunities within education. How much compensation did they receive through the program, if any?
Yeah, they did. They got paid hourly if they did their timesheet, which was a learning curve. No, we made sure they did their timesheet. But yeah, they got paid hourly, and they worked, for the most part, about like 90% of them worked the time of the program. So At our elementary school program, that was 200 hours over the summer. And then at our middle school program, that was 120 hours. So it was a lot. They went in hard.
Well,
Went from 0 to 60.
That's another growing future pipeline for us to explore. And my only ask would be if the superintendent could work with Principal Burns on seeing if some of these students are potential recruits for the Salem High School's early college educator pathway. I think you have a captive audience there, if you will, superintendent of students who could be potential future educators in our district.
Absolutely.
So, well, seeing no further questions from members of the committee, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Taylor. So the AI? Okay, so we're going to move on to AI, which Mark is going to come up. We recognize this is a rapidly developing area in technology, the artificial intelligence, and excuse me, we've had several members of our team connecting to networks over the last year or so to learn about how schools and districts are navigating this terrain. Several of us went to the superintendent, myself, Mark, Member Cornell. We had several educators join us for a day of AI at MIT last year, which was really, felt like we were at the epicenter of sort of the cutting edge around AI. Mark and I have also sat on committees at DESE, Mark for the IT leads and myself for district leaders. So we're excited to start to work with our teams here to share information about how to use AI as a tool for both educators and our students. It's exciting and yet a little bit scary because it is so new and is developing so fast. But we are committed to being thoughtful about how we navigate next steps, and a couple of things that we are sort of, committing to is frequent communication, both internally and externally to families, to develop resources and guidance, and then we will at some point need to be working with the policy committee around some policies to sort of frame the space. But last week we did put out a message to all staff, and we put those materials in the packet for you to review. So it's a first step in providing some guidance, and then Mark is going to talk about those materials as well as some upcoming professional development and like a task force committee to work over the course of the year. So over to you, Mark.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so we spent a lot of last year learning and listening. I was on went to several conferences, lots of AI sessions. We were part of a DESE cohort that learned all about AI and how schools can be implementing AI from other national partners. And we spent a lot of time going to various committees and existing groups to really hear what people thought about AI. We went to the teacher advisory group, the student advisory group, the family advisory group. We went to various teams that in Salem Public Schools to really do some basic training and then do some listening. Like, what did people think about AI? Like, what are the things that we should be taking into consideration when we're looking at guidance and training and different things that we can be doing? So taking all of that information, this summer I spent time working on a variety of different documents which are in your packet. The most important one is our guidelines to our educators to make sure that they understand that AI is a really powerful tool that can really help in a lot of ways. But there are some important do's and some important don'ts with AI. So we wanted to make sure that we have some basic information out there that explains what you can do and what you should not do with AI. Additionally, with that, we also have a student function chart that we've provided educators that they can use when they're looking at their own assignments, that they can give to their students and tell their students, number one, is AI allowed on this assignment? And if it is, at what level? Is it something that they can use as, I use AI to do some research, I can use it for an outline, I can use it for citations, or I can't use it at all? Luckily, now that Google has changed some of their policies, they include Gemini, which is their application, into their blanket privacy agreement that we signed. So now that can be used by all students at any age level, which was not the case last year. So there'll definitely be some AI training that we're going to be doing with students in library digital skills this year, with those that are age appropriate based on the grade level. We also want to do some training. So we have a variety of training sessions. We're going to try to do one a month. We have the outlines of our training sessions in there that will be after school sessions that educators could come to virtually and get paid to learn about AI and the ways that they can be using AI in their classrooms to make their teaching more effective and make their lives easier, hopefully. We also are putting together a technology advisory committee so we can continue listening, because we want to be able to get voices from people in the field, people that are in the classrooms, so that they're helping us inform our work that we're doing. So that posting, I'm hoping that posting will be out by the end of the week. We'll be able to, AI will be a part of it, but I think there's even more to AI that, so when we're making decisions about hardware purchases, software that we're using, what decisions and what things should we be thinking about as a technology department, that we have voices of educators and community partners as well involved with those decisions. Questions?
Members of the committee, any questions for Mark? Looking in person, seeing none. Cindy, any questions for Mark?
I don't have any questions, but I do have a comment.
Please feel free.
My only comment is related to the student AI function chart. I was reading over it, and I do believe it is a really great idea, seeing that I myself am a student, and oftentimes AI is a very helpful tool, especially when it comes to resources or sometimes even reading a summary of a really long text, something like that. So I really do believe that having AI as an available tool in certain assignments based on what the teachers would like to see is a really good idea. So yeah, that was really all I had related to that.
Excellent. Any comments from Member Cornell or Member Manning regarding this update?
I don't have a question. I would just like to note, as I feel like I always do, just how much I appreciate Mark's leadership on this, that we're forward thinking and we're a district that is thinking about how we're going to use AI as a tool to help our students succeed in high school and beyond. So I'm just very appreciative of how thoughtfully the district has approached this. It feels like it was a million years ago that we went to that conference at MIT. So it's just great to see stuff moving and implemented now. So thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Member Cornell. I'm going to just check with Member Manning, and then we have a question or comment from Member Miranda. Member Manning, any questions about this update?
No, not really. I would say thank you to Mark, but I don't have the question or the wherewithal to make a statement tonight.
Understood. Member Miranda, I saw your hand.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in here as far as like mental health, but just wanted to highlight and ask, do we have any thoughts about really engaging the students and making sure that AI is not used to replace like real connections with humans? And then also, if a student uses Google Gemini and there's some like language that's used with the AI, will that trigger like some type of response from administrators?
Yeah, so to the first question, that is part of the work that we're going to be doing this year, is to we have library and digital skills where we're teaching technology training, and we're already doing that with social media. We're doing a lot of instruction to students on like what the potential adverse effects of social media. So AI falls right into that. Our curriculum material that we subscribe to actually has AI modules that they've just released for this school year. So I honestly haven't even looked at them because they just came out. But yeah, it's very important that we're doing just the same way that we treat social media. AI should be the same, in my opinion. We do have a filter. We have an alerting system that is built into all of our Google products, and Gemini would be part of it, so that if there's anything that a student writes into a chat bot that is considered, that raises some suspicion about some mental health or well-being of the student, there are designated individuals in each school that get alerts so they can follow up with the student. Sometimes they're like false positives, but sometimes they're not. So yeah, that'll be covered under the same alerting system.
That's amazing. Thanks so much.
And Deputy Superintendent?
If I can just add that at the Day of AI, they did a whole session on AI and school counselors, and it was really informative, and it might be something that we add to the professional development. It was really about students interacting with the bots and how that, can get a little tricky. And so it might even be something that we consider for families too, as a family outreach workshop.
Any further questions or comments on this update?
Member Cruz, can I just add one more thing to what Kate just said?
Of course.
One thing, and I think this is interesting for you also, Member Miranda, so maybe we can talk about this at some point. Part of what I found really interesting, I'm not sure how I feel about it, but at the MIT conference, there were school counselors and professionals in the AI world who were talking about the fact that AI bots actually could be helpful with helping students who are on the autism spectrum to kind of understand facial cues, understand tone. It was extremely interesting to me, and so I know for me, I feel like my first reaction is to be a little bit fearful of like a pretend person talking to kids, but there's some potential there for I think some usefulness from that kind of AI learning.
Thank you, Member Cornell. And I certainly agree. And I would just add on my end that there's a lot more opportunity with AI in education. So I've been on an AI learning journey for 3 years and outside of my role here on the school committee. And I think that there's a lot of good emerging practices that I'm seeing in the field. One thing that I would just note is that the federal government did just update their grants to allow for school districts to apply for an acceptable use of the federal grants for education includes AI professional development and other pieces. So as we think about our applications to the feds, we can consider that as one of our potential options. And then the other piece that I'm happy to circulate this to members of the committee and then certainly to the superintendent and the deputy superintendent and Mark here is that as part of the AI task force from the White House, they have released several initiatives regarding AI in education. One of them is a presidential challenge for AI in education, and essentially to allow for educators and students to try to use AI to solve real-world problems. So there's some opportunities for students to be engaged on civic projects using AI. So I'll send the information over in the event that it's of interest to the district to see if these our educators or students could partake in that type of challenge. And then the other piece is that I think that there's about 60 or so signatories to a AI pledge in education. So all the major companies are talking about releasing curriculum and workforce development opportunities. So I think that that's another place. I know that we already have a curriculum that we've subscribed to that you said just came hot off the press, but I'd be very interested in seeing in the next couple of months. I think Google's going to be rolling out new curriculums and models. They're heavily invested in some new cohorts around professional development. And then I was just really thrilled, Mark, to hear that you and the deputy superintendent had an opportunity to engage with DESE, because I know that they recently released PD on AI in education. So, I think there's a lot of opportunity here. And as a gateway city, I think the only other thing that I would name about AI use is that it does also have some consequences for our environment. So as we think about what we communicate around the use of AI, responsible use of AI, that we should transparently share with our educators and our students that almost every time that you put in a prompt, you're spending the equivalent of a bottle of water. So, those are the types of ethical considerations that as we continue to navigate how we are leveraging AI in our classrooms, that we give our students and educators kind of the full picture of the landscape. So not seeing any other questions or comments. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Can I just add one thing before I close? I do want to just preview the committee. There's 3 policies that are coming down the pike that are important for the committee to eventually vote on, that are requests through the Department of Education that we'll be discussing in the next 2 months. One is we do need, from the guidelines that came around CTE, we need to have a middle school pathway policy for middle school exploration, which we do already some work on, but this committee is going to have to approve that policy for that pathway. The second is the high school, since we have our own CTE programs, our admissions criteria needs to be looked at again to make sure it matches the new guidance. I believe that it mostly does, but it needs to be looked at through the lens of the new guidance the state has provided. I believe we have until November to do both of those. And then finally, the competency determination, which you approved the policy last year, but since that time, the state has put out new guidance around the high school equivalency. And now each district is being asked to submit new competency determination that the department will, I think, post and review for every district in the Commonwealth. And I think we have until the end of December to do that. If I'm educated, that's right. It's the end of December, I think. So we'll be coming to you on those three. Those are really 3 important policies that we're going to need your support and want your opinion and your feedback to weigh in on before they're approved by this committee. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Member Cruz.
Thank you, Superintendent. And I think when we get to the policy subcommittee update, we can just refer those formally to the committee and then get the process started. So moving on to the next item on the subcommittee reports. Finance Subcommittee, any report? Hearing none. Personnel Subcommittee, that's me, no report. Building and Grounds Subcommittee, any report? Curriculum Subcommittee, any report? Policy Subcommittee, any report, Member Cornell?
No.
I'd entertain a motion at this time to just refer the 3 policies referenced by the superintendent on CTE middle school pathways, admissions criteria at the high school level, and the competency determination to the policy subcommittee.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion made by Member Campbell, seconded by Member Miranda. All those in favor, roll call vote. Member Hoffman?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Miranda?
Yes.
Member Manning?
Here, yes.
Member Cornell?
Yes.
Member Cruz, yes. 6 members voting, 6 in the affirmative. The matter carries. So those have been referred to policy. Moving us to motions and resolutions, we have one item here, and it is the approval of a salary adjustment for the superintendent, and this is actually my update. So per the contract with the superintendent, just thought I'd give some context. So annually as a school committee, we are required over the course of the 5-year agreement that we set with the superintendent back in 2022 to meet to discuss annual compensation. We have not done that in 3 years. So we're a little out of step. But since that time, we've had a meeting with the superintendent where he recommended or requested a 7% increase to kind of cover the last 3 years of time in which we did not meet annually to discuss his compensation. So during that time, we had a lot going on between our negotiations with 3 different unions. Non-union personnel got increases during that time. School committee members actually got increases during that same period of time. And then so did members of the executive leadership team. So the recommendation is currently to do a one-time 7% increase that essentially covers the back pay from the last 3 years. The annual average would be a 2.333% increase. It's my understanding that this is less than what non-union personnel received, and certainly some of those other same groups. And what I would name is, prior to putting this up for a motion, is per the contract with the superintendent, I'm going to point folks in the public to Article 4 of that particular contract agreement. So the school committee is supposed to meet with the superintendent prior to April 30th. The committee met to discuss this, and we're going to ensure that we have an annual meeting to discuss the annual increase. We appreciate that the superintendent was willing to take make some sacrifices over the last 3 years, but we want to make sure that for every employee in our district that we are following the letter of the law when it comes to our contracts and meeting our obligations. And so the subsequent section in Article 4 lays out that following annual salary increases shall apply during the terms of the agreement, and it should be a minimum of a 2% increase for an evaluation of proficient or exemplary over the last 3 years. The superintendent in the first year in which we didn't have that meeting scored a proficient rating, and then had 2 back-to-back years in which the superintendent had exemplary ratings from this committee. So folks will recall that we usually talk about the superintendent's rating. We start the process in the fall, and then by February we're reporting out. So we've had a superintendent who in back-to-back years has been rated as exemplary, has done, I think, a tremendous job of leading our district. I think asked for a lot less than, quite frankly, he deserves. That's my own personal belief. But I understand that you wanted to, you wanted us as a committee to still honor the work that you had done without going above what other employees had received within the district. And I think that that's just a testament to your selflessness. And so appreciate you, Superintendent, for taking less than I think you deserve. I think in other districts, usually an exemplary rating is followed by a 3% increase, but that's not what you asked for here. So I just set that context to just provide members of the public with the full information on kind of the context of what we're doing as a committee here today. And so the Personnel Subcommittee met. We referred to the full subcommittee in executive session. We had further discussions about this particular contract, and we put the recommendation on the table tonight. Members of the committee do appear ready to take this motion up this evening. And I did just want to note that the mayor is at the Derby Street Neighborhood Association, so he couldn't be here, but I would just note that he does support this recommendation. And so at this time, I would entertain a motion from members of the committee, and then we'll have some discussion for an approval of the 7% increase for the superintendent.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made by Member Cornell, seconded.
Campbell.
Oh, Member Campbell, I'm sorry. Not enough coffee today. And then seconded by Member Miranda. Under discussion? Member Miranda?
Thanks. For all of the reasons that Member Cruz stated, I just wanted to say publicly that I'm in favor of the superintendent's recommendation for a 7% increase for this one time. And then just wanted to thank you for all of your work and your leadership in our district. I am so happy to be able to work alongside you in this work, and also to have you leading the district that my child attends and so many other kids attend and benefit from. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Other members of the committee under discussion? Member Cornell, Member Manning, anything you'd like to offer?
I wish there was more that I could offer, because I like it when Steve is uncomfortable with this kind of praise. It delights me. But I will just second what everybody else said, and really appreciate your leadership, and an increase is well-deserved and overdue.
Thank you, Member Cornell. Member Manning? Okay. So I'll just note as the parliamentarian of this committee, I won't be here the next time that folks have to discuss this, so I would just ask that the committee agree to an annual date to engage with the superintendent in the meeting regarding compensation, so that we don't fall out of step with the contract. I just think as a practice, we need to meet our financial obligations and follow our contracts to the law. So I think it would be great if we could either have an annual meeting set when we're voting on our calendar for the year, or if we actually set a policy, because the contract spells for a meeting to take place before April 30th, and there's a strong shall there. So that's just me putting a stake in the ground for the new members that will eventually join the committee, and then those that will remain after myself and Member Campbell roll off. So with that, I don't see any further discussions or questions, so I'm going to do a roll call vote. Member Manning? Member Manning on a roll call vote?
Sorry, yep, yes.
Member Cornell?
Yes.
Member Hoffman?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Miranda?
Yes.
Member Cruz, yes. 6 members voting, 6 in the affirmative. Matter carries. Congratulations, Steve.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Time to move on.
All right, I'm going to move us on to announcements. Do we have any announcements from members of the committee or the superintendent? Seeing none, quiet. I'll make one announcement. I was really thrilled at drop-off this last week. I got to see the ECC playground. It looks fantastic, and I just wanted to extend my thanks to the ECC staff who took the time to put together that playground for our youngest learners in the district. I think every morning that I've done drop-off, I see kids on tricycles enjoying the equipment, and I know that that was a labor of love over the summer, so I want to thank the team at the ECC for the work that they did to put that together. So if you haven't checked it out, please do. And if there's any teenagers listening to this particular school committee meeting, please do not use preschoolers' equipment. We'd like it to last for the whole year.
They're going to.
So with that, I'll move to the next item on the agenda. Do we have a motion?
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. Okay. Do I have a
I'll
second?
second.
Second by, okay, so motion is made by Member Campbell, seconded by Member Miranda. All those in favor, roll call vote, or sorry, under discussion? Roll call vote. Member Hoffman?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Miranda?
Yes.
Member Manning?
Yes.
Member Cornell?
Yes.
Member Cruz? Yes, 6 voting in the affirmative. Meeting is adjourned.
Appreciate your comments.